Hello everybody, it's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly episode for August the 9th, 2022. And this is episode 179. So let's get right into my current projects. And it is completed. This is my Gnome, Christmas Gnome table runner. It's all done. I'm very pleased with the way it turned out. It's really quite cute. This was a pattern from Sweet Pea Designs. And I do like some of their patterns. I find, though, a lot of their patterns are a little bit on the cutesy juvenile side, but they do have other ones that are more sophisticated too. But this one, of course, when I saw it, I had to have it. And I think I got it for a really good price because I think there was a sale on at the time. Now, I'm not sure what this cost me. I think it was 50% off, so I think it cost me about $10 US at the time. Now, it's a little smaller than I thought it was going to be in terms of length. I should have probably done some measurements before I started this. But so really, as a table runner, it's more of a table topper. It could be a wall hanging, whatever you want to do with it. But you can make it longer because it has been designed in such a way that you can just keep adding sections to it and, yeah, basically make it as long as you want. Will I do another one that way? Maybe. I don't know. It does take a while to do this. It's an in the hoop applique project, but the end result was worth the time, I think. So I did do a little quilting on this in the negative space. They have some quilting in the trees already. I just did some in the silvery white area, the background. Just did some echo around the hats, the edges of the hats of the gnomes and the edges of the trees. And I did a little bit of walking foot, wavy line kind of quilting in the red border as well. So I think it turned out nice. And this is in my pile of potential Christmas gifts. I may give this away. I may keep it for myself. I don't know. We'll wait and see when we get closer to Christmas. So there is that. And I've started another project. This is a Halloween quilt. I have all this Halloween fabric that I bought recently, plus some of the stuff I had left over from last year. So, I thought should use it up. Now, Halloween quilts, they're, in my mind, they're kind of a one-off because, Halloween is basically only one night. But I mean, that doesn't really stop you from putting out a Halloween quilt for the whole month of October or leave it out all year round. I actually have a Halloween wall hanging that hangs down here in my sewing room all year round. So, you don't have to stick to seasonal rules or, whatever that is. The decor police aren't going to come in your house and go, oh, rip that down. It's not Halloween. Found this pattern, though, on Fat Quarter Shop. It was a downloadable PDF file. I think it cost around $10, something like that. And I am going to talk about it in a little bit more detail later on in today's episode, so I'll just leave it at that for now. But I've started working on it. There are a lot of little pieces. You can see I've started making all these half square triangles at the bottom of the page there, and there are many, many more of those to go. But I think it's going to be really cool when it's done. And I really love the bat design, how that works in as a piece design. Excuse me. So, yeah, I've been doing that. Do I have another picture to show you? Not yet. Okay, so let's come back to me. And what's next on my agenda? Well, Craft and Chat was in the past week. Frog in my throat. And it was last Wednesday, and we had a really great time. Had a few new faces. That's always nice. And yeah, we got talking about doing flange binding. I have heard of that. I have seen a few videos about that. I have not yet done it. I might attempt a flange binding on this Halloween quilt. Maybe. I'll see. Depends when I get to that point. I may be so sick of the quilt at that point that I'll just want to get it done. So we'll see. But yeah, Craft and Chat was good. And the next one will be the first Wednesday of September, which I'm not sure what that falls on. I think it falls fairly early in the month. And so but there will be announcements about that, so not to worry. So what else have I been working on? Well, I have a lot of patterns. And I've been trying to figure out a method that will be efficient in storing the patterns. Now, right now, I have the patterns in a big basket that are inside a filing cabinet drawer. They're semi-organized, but only by really broad categories, that kind of thing. Ideally, what I would love to have is a program, an app, where I could scan the barcode on a pattern if it has one, or even just scan the front page or put in the title, and it would locate the pattern for me and put all the pertinent information down into a database, and there we have it. Yeah. Now, there are inventory management programs out there that do something like that. They're usually dependent upon having a barcode that you can scan. Not all patterns I have found necessarily have barcodes on them. So that might be a problem, especially the ones you download as a freebie. They don't usually have a barcode on them. I don't want to spend hours and hours and hours creating a database. It could be a spreadsheet. It could be, a commercial made database where you fill in the blanks and things like that. I'm not interested in that. I don't want to spend hours on this. And as I said, I'm a bit of a pattern whore because I collect a lot of patterns, whether I've done them or not. But they sit in a big basket, and I don't know what I have. They're out of sight, they're out of mind. So I'm thinking of bringing them out, revealing them to daylight. And I was thinking of doing something like this. Let me show you what I mean. With my 3D printer, I can print these little boxes. They're magazine boxes, but they're smaller. I designed them so that they would handle a pattern, as opposed to like the size that you usually get them for magazines, because magazines are twice the size and it's just not going to hold the patterns in a neat and secure way. So I started making these for patterns that are current, ones that I definitely want to work on now. And you can see I've got them labeled with my label maker what those are. So I'm thinking to myself, I just recently reorganized my fabric shelves, and I've found some storage space on my fabric shelves where I could make a whole series of these. And these are made with my 3D printer. So yesterday I proceeded to make a couple of these, and they both bummed out on me. One of them, for some reason, did not print correctly. And the other one, I didn't realize that I ran out of filament, so I got half of one. So yeah, and they take a long time to print. So I'm reassessing this method. I'm saying to myself, do I really want to spend weeks and weeks, because that's what it would be, to make all these little cute little boxes and for my patterns? Is it worth it? And my answer right now is no, it is not. Now, can I buy ones that are this size? I don't think so. I may do a little bit more of a thorough search on Google to see, but I don't think I can get ones this size. The other alternative is to use baskets that come from the dollar store. Now watch, anytime I want something that I've seen at the dollar store 100 times, when I go to the dollar store to get it, they're not there. But they're just these cheapo cloth baskets. They look like they're woven. Um, and they're the width of a pattern, and they're about 11 inches long, and so they'd fit on this shelf with no problem. And then I could, have several of these baskets, label them like I've labeled these little things right here that you're seeing in front of you, and away we go. A lot faster. Not a lot of money. They're more than $1 at our dollar store, because the dollar stores is just a suggestion at most of them. But even still, they'd only be a couple of bucks a piece. So I need maybe half a dozen or so, and I could make that work. So maybe. The other alternative is I have a ton of these blue baskets that I've gotten from the dollar store that I use for projects and things like that. They're just really handy. They're a little wider though than 6 inches. They're about 8 inches wide. Now, why is that a problem? I want something that will securely hold my patterns so that I can put them in and take them out easily, but not having them shifting from side to side. I know I'm being a little anally retentive right now, aren't I, about that kind of thing. But it just makes me happy when things are well stored. So I don't know. I may give that a try first and see. Like I said, I have lots of those baskets, so it costs me a lot less money doing it that way because I have them already, but I just don't know yet. So yeah. So what's your ideas for storing your patterns? What do you do? How do you find them? I don't want to put them in a binder. I tried that once. When I first got into quilting, I took the patterns, put them in page protectors, put them all neatly in binders that were all labeled, and I found that that just didn't work because you were flipping through page after page after page, looking for, uh, a pattern. And because the binder was closed up, out of sight, out of mind, so I didn't go to it too often. So then I went to my big basket, all labeled, and yeah, that's not working either. So, you know, and I also don't want to spend hours categorizing my patterns and things like that because let's face it, once you've done a pattern, you probably don't go back to it and make it again. Maybe on an occasion you do, maybe something like a table runner you might, and that, but generally speaking, on a quilt, I think most people it's a one-off. You make the quilt, that's it. You don't make it again. I know some people do, but for me, I don't. So why spend hours categorizing? Now, the one thing is, I have a bunch of patterns that I thought were really cool, and I've never made them. And because they're in that basket, not well organized, out of sight, out of mind, I forget all about them. So there is a possibility that I buy a duplicate or I download a duplicate because I have forgotten that I have that one, you know? So yeah, so I guess what I'm saying is the reason I'm looking for a easy storage system is so that I don't do that. So I don't end up duplicating patterns that I already have. And also that I can easily find one, you know. So if you've got ideas how you store yours or anything like that, please let me know. I've seen some people, they put them in envelopes and label the envelope and then they hang them. Oh God, I'm not doing that. One, I don't have the space for that. And two, I don't think that's really going to help for me anyways, keeping my things organized. So I'm curious about what you do with yours. And just put them in the comments below. And yeah, that'll be helpful. Okay, so where's that taking me to next? Okay, I don't really have a demo to put up this week, but I do have something to show you that I'm going to talk a little bit about because this is a recent discovery for me. And I find it like I'm really thrilled with it. I found this, just let me find the picture here for us to look at. I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of Discourse servers. This is an alternative to like Facebook groups or something like that. And it's very powerful. And many, many, many people have created Discourse servers for topics of interest. So Sean, at the guy who sews, he has created this Discourse server and it's called Quilters CoOp. And I'm absolutely in love with this. This is a great discussion base. It's a great area for sharing with like-minded people your creations or asking questions, getting help, things like that. So essentially, anybody can join this if they're interested. And I've put the link to it in the show notes below if you're interested. But I just thought I'd take you through what this has to offer. Once you've logged in or once you've created an account and you've answered the email verification that comes to you, you'll get into this and this is what it looks like. It's fairly easy to navigate, and the way it's set up is all these different what they call text channels. And then there's something called voice channels. We'll come back to that in a minute. So general information. Now, I think this is how Sean has it set up. I think if you went to another Discourse server on another topic, you would find it maybe slightly different. But Sean has this laid out very nicely. So he has welcome and the rules. And so he has everything laid out here as to what to expect. He explains each of the categories as well, which is very handy. There's also a place for general announcements. And people share things that are coming up there. There's show and tell. This is where people can show their creations or things that they've made or whatever. And people can comment on it. You have questions and answers, which is very, very helpful. You know, you're running into a problem with a pattern, or you're running into a problem with something you're doing, throw it in here, you're going to get an answer. General chit chat, and there's a lot of that going on. People share, you know, websites and things like that that they have found helpful. Ideas that people have, again, inspiration. There's even a fun question of the week, just to, you know, break up the seriousness of maybe some things or whatever, to give yourself a little bit of a mind break. Channel and shop links. So Sean encourages people to put up links to their YouTube channels or helpful YouTube channels that they have found in different shops and around. Share your videos. So, you know, especially if you're a YouTube creator, you can put up things. I've got one here for my binding that I put up recently. And there's one called patterns. So, you know, different things that people are creating and places where you can go and get these patterns and things like that. So that's the text channels. Now there's something here. Now I have not used these yet, voice channels. There's 3 categories: lounge, community hangout, and stream room. Now the lounge, I'm the only one in the lounge at the moment, as you can see, because I've tapped in here. I go by the Idiot Quilter in this if you join it. Down here is where you can turn on your camera and it becomes, you know, sort of like a Zoom or a Facebook Live, that kind of thing, or share your screen. You can do all that. And that's how essentially all of these work. And yes, I'm just going to confirm that. So now I'm in the community hangout and I haven't turned anything else on. Voice is connected, disconnect. And then there's the stream room. And I think in here, and I think this is what Sean might use when he does his lives, and he's got them connected somehow through Zoom. But here's where you can, you know, basically do a show, a presentation or something like that. So it all looks good. On the right-hand side of the screen, it shows you who's online. Right now, there are 4 people online. This is live while I'm showing this to you, and shows you who's offline. So basically, if you want to send a message to somebody, you just, you know, click on their connection and away you go. You can write them a message if you wish. You can also, you know, talk in more general terms on in whatever group you're in too. Now, this Discourse server, you see over on here, another menu, this is where you could add a server. So maybe you belong to several different groups. You can add to that. There is an app you can download. It's free. And when you first get in on this, it'll ask you if you want to download the app to your computer. It will save you from having to connect all the time through your web browser. And that's what I use. But the beauty of that is you can have it send you notifications. If somebody adds something new to the Discourse server, you can get a message instantly about that. You can also put it on your phone. Now, I have an iPhone, so it works on an iPhone. I'm not sure what other systems it might work on, but so you can have access to it from your phone as well. This has so much potential. And there's already a lot of people taking full advantage of the potential of this, as you can see. So, you know, I show this to you. I asked Sean if I could share this information with my subscribers, and he said, by all means. His mission here is the more, the merrier. This is a great wealth of information that's easy to manipulate. It's easy. It's very user-friendly, I have found, and it's a great community as well. So you might want to consider joining the Quilters CoOp, the Discourse server. And I've put a link to how you can get connected to this in the show notes for this today. Okay, so that takes me to Subscribers Quilt of the Week, and this comes from Stephanie, who is the owner and operator of the YouTube site Together We Sew Quilting with Stephanie Stitches. And many of you may be familiar with Stephanie. I knew of her, but I really didn't know that much. And I'm going to learn a lot more about Stephanie because guess what? Later today, I have scheduled an interview with Stephanie, and then I will put that up probably later today as well. So sorry, when you see this today, usually I put the link to the interview in the show notes, and I will, but this will have already gone up without that information. But what I'll do is after I have compiled the interview with Stephanie, I will put the link. I will go in and edit the show notes for this video and drop it in there. But anyways, I'm looking forward to that. But that, as I said, is later today. But in the meantime, Stephanie sent me some pictures of some of her creations that I want to share with you right now. This week's quilt of the week from a subscriber comes from Stephanie at Together We Sew Quilting with Stephanie's Stitches. And Stephanie recently found my channel and she sent me this beautiful picture of this very, very stunning quilt. And she says, I have been watching you since you had Sean, he is a buddy of mine, on for an interview, and I really enjoy your channel. I saw you this morning being interviewed by Sean and thought I would email you a picture of this quilt. Sean and I sewed one of these blocks on my YouTube channel, and then I turned it into an entire pattern. I call it Mosaic Stars, and it is really great. And I should check out the pattern for this as well. But it's just so very colorful, rainbow effect that's here. And let's take a closer look at the quilting because Stephanie did send a picture of that, and the quilting is absolutely wonderful. And I'm wondering if Stephanie did this herself, and if she did, she's an incredible quilter, or whether it was put on a long arm with a computerized system, or it looks custom. So I would say, this may be done by Stephanie herself, or it may have been sent out for someone else to quilt. Either way, it's absolutely beautiful. She also sent a picture of the back of the quilt, and this fabric on the back goes very well with the design on the front. And again, you can see here the wonderful wavy line and bubble type of quilting done. So thank you, Stephanie, for sending this beautiful creation to me, and I must look up your pattern. So stay tuned for the interview with Stephanie. So that takes me to patterns that I'm working on. So I'm going to backtrack here and I'm going to talk about Night Flight by BasicGrey. That's the Halloween quilt that I showed you earlier that I'm working on. And here's a little bit more of a detailed look at the pattern. This week's pattern from my vision board is one that I'm working on right now, and I've already shown you little bits and pieces of it. And this is a Halloween quilt, and the pattern is called Night Flight by BasicGrey. And I did purchase this from the Fat Quarter Shop, and it is a PDF file, although I think you can also get it as a paper pattern as well. I really like it. I think it's got a nice variety of blocks and things that in it. As you can see, we've got stars, we've got the bat blocks, which is the predominant design in this, and it just uses a whole collection of different types of fabrics, which I have in my Halloween stash. So I thought this one would be very appropriate to use the various novelty fabrics that I bought and to showcase them. It looks like it's fairly simple to put together, and it shows you that you can use fat eighths, or you can use fat quarters as well, 16 fat quarters it says, and it gives you the colors. And so yeah, I think this is going to be really quite cute when it is completed. My color scheme, of course, is going to look very different. But if you are interested in getting this pattern, the link is in the show notes below, and it's very reasonably priced, $10 American, US, and it is downloadable. So yeah, you might want to check it out. And so that takes me to the online quilting stores. Today's is called the Quilting Barn, and not to be confused with the one I did the other week called the Quilting Barn Gifts and what was that called? Short memory. Anyways, it's back in the last one I did. Anyways, this is the Quilting Barn, and here's my review of it. This week's online quilting store is called the Quilting Barn, and they're located in Earlton, Ontario. And if you take a look at their home page, this threw me for a loop. This is all that I saw. And I thought, whoa, this isn't working. So I went up and I clicked on home, and this is still what I got. But then I figured it out. You need to just scroll down a little bit. I think they might want to rethink that, because I think that when it first comes up, it makes you think, oh, maybe they don't exist anymore. This is just a placeholder, but they do exist. So what have we got? They tell you, welcome to the Quilting Barn. Welcome to Quilting Barn Online. You can order fabric and notions through this website. We only ship within Canada. Okay, sorry, my American subscribers. We now offer free shipping for orders over $200 before taxes. When you order, you will still see the $20 shipping charge when you complete your order, but we will compensate you with merchandise for that charge. Website doesn't allow me to add a button for free shipping option. Okay, right off the bat, that's turning me right off, because they're offering free shipping on orders over $200, but then you see a shipping charge of $20. So they'll just add that in product? How does that work? What if I don't want any more product? Do I get to choose the product? I'm not sure. Orders are filled the same day. You want to purchase less than 1 meter? Just contact us. Okay. Yeah, that right there is something I have never seen before. I think that's something they need to seriously work on, because I don't find that encouragement. And I seem to be a little confused. They say they now offer free shipping for orders over $200. When you order, you will still see the $20 shipping charge when you complete your order, but we will compensate you with merchandise for that charge. I don't know how that works. Okay, right off the bat, this bothers me. Okay, let's check out their fabrics. Maybe they can redeem themselves with good prices. Okay, right off the bat, do we have an organizational scheme here? I'm not really seeing an organizational scheme. There's nothing on the left. There isn't any breakdown of the fabrics by company or designer or by color or by theme. So it looks like you just page through this, and they have 27 pages. Okay, if you like to browse, you might like this. I don't like to browse. I like to have a clearer breakdown of what they have to offer. Okay, so Northcott Toscana collection, all right, $13.95 Canadian. That's a fairly good price if that's by meter. I'm pretty sure it is, but we'll check that out in a moment. Prints seem to go anywhere up to like $15.95, $14.95, $17.95, but that's a flannel. Stonehenge graduation, $17.95. Prices seem to be a little bit all over the place. $16.95, one here, $7.95, $18.95, $19.95. Well, that's wide back flannel. That's actually a good price. But really, there doesn't seem to be a lot of consistency. At least I can't figure out their organizational scheme in terms of their prices. Okay, let's make sure that that's by the meter. So let's click on this. Quantity 1. Okay. I guess I have to make the assumption that that is by the meter, because it doesn't say. There doesn't clearly define this. Okay, so that's another downfall of this website. I'm living in mystery here. I am making an assumption. What if I make the wrong assumption? Okay, I don't want to take the chance. So yeah, let's go back and all right, let's go back into fabrics. What about precuts? Well, I'm going to be hunting through this for 1,000 years to look for it. Let's just go to the last page. Yeah, oh, there's some precuts. They're in here with it. 59.95, 59.95. Okay, let's go back a page. No precuts shown in this page. So I have a feeling that what precuts they have are filtered through the whole listing. So again, you're going to have to go through multiple pages to see what they have. So again, if you like browsing, this might be okay for you. They do have seasonal fabrics. There's some Christmas, but again, how would I know that? How do I find it? Well, let's do this. They have a search. So let's go Christmas and see how this works. Okay, you can do that. All right, so if I am assuming that if you knew a designer name or oh, this is interesting. I didn't see this come up before. Was I not down far enough? There's some inconsistencies here in the website design. Now here we have a little better breakdown. Panels, batiks, other fabrics, flannel. Okay, why did I not see that when I first went in? I don't know. Okay, so let's, I was going to do a search here, just see if you can do a search by a brand name. So we'll use Northcott. Yes, you can. Okay, a little bit more of a redemption here. If you know the name of a company you want to go for, you can type that in. What about a theme? We did Christmas. Why don't we say something like, I don't know, or color, blue. Okay. All right. This rejuvenates them a little bit in my mind because I can do that. So actually their search engine seems to be fairly well designed. All right, let's check out then kits. And yeah, they have a few, not many. Pillowcase, a couple of quilts. Yeah, okay. Now, see up here, that menu did not come back up. So let's back up and do this again. So this site does take a little bit of navigating to figure it out. Sewing machine. Sorry, we couldn't find any products here. Okay, so they don't sell sewing machines. Notions. And there you go. You have some rulers. You have the standard stuff. Prices are about standard too. Some bag making equipment. Thread, Aurifil, $14.95. That's an okay price. It's average price. Sewing foam stabilizer. Now, good question is, do they have batting? Let's go up to the handy dandy search. And they do, but they don't, they sell it packaged, pre-packaged, 96 inches wide, 120 inches wide. Yeah, I'm not, it doesn't tell you though how much it's 120 inches wide, but how many meters? No idea. So I have no idea how much is in that package. Is this enough for a queen size? Is this enough for a twin? What? I don't know. Needs a little bit more information before I'll buy that kind of thing online. I need to know how much I'm getting. Patterns. Okay. Some bag patterns, table runners, a few quilts. Not seeing anything here that I have not seen somewhere else before. Some patterns for clothing as well. 2 pages of these. Nothing there is grabbing me, really. Sorry. So let's go quilts for sale. So they have quilts for sale. No, they don't have quilts for sale. Okay. Other fabrics. Nope, they don't have any other fabrics. Okay. Batik fabric. Okay, batiks, they have them on sale. Some on sale, $17.95. Prices for the most part are not bad. I'll give them that for their fabrics. Okay, they have books, fabric panels. How many things do they have in fabric panels? Seen these before. Yeah, okay. And prices are okay on those. So yeah, if you're into panels, you might find something here. Let's go to books. 2. Okay. What's next? Oh, they have blue color retreat participants. Okay, it's fabric. I don't understand why it's called that. Because this is fabric. Blue color retreat participants. Maybe this is something to do with the retreat they're having. And these are the fabrics you need. Maybe they're doing a sew along or something. I don't know. Oh, finally, we do have one for precuts. Yeah, and nothing really there that interests me. Okay, wide backing. Yes, I'm always looking for wide backing. That's a good price per meter. Well, it varies again, too. They don't have a bad selection, though, of wide back fabrics. Actually, they have quite a few. 2 pages of it, so that's not bad. Let's see. Flannel on sale. Let's see what's on sale. Yeah, okay. That's what's on sale. Moving on. Oh, they do have a separate section for Christmas. They have gift cards. They have giftware. No, they don't. Children and baby. You can buy a child on here or a baby. No, it's fabric. Okay. Fleece. Oh, and there's your batting rate there. Okay, didn't see that. So it looks like they might have retreats. Is it courses and retreats? So we'll click on that. Beginner quilting, that was in February. Sheen quilting on a long arm. Okay. And it looks like if you want to learn how to do these things, you got to send them an email. There's a retreat bag. Dates are to be announced. I'm assuming they're in person. I'm not sure. Okay, here's this blue Kala. Boy, this is the fabric you use for some of these classes. I guess that's what that's for. Oh, quilting retreats. They're back. Here they have some coming up. Looks like September and October. And that's where they have the retreats. Okay, so by the way, this place is very far north in Ontario. So you see that everything is bilingual because it would be Francophone up there as well, which is a nice touch too. Okay, so anything else? Store. Okay, so this is their store. Oh, it's cute. Yeah, it's a really cute looking store. I would definitely stop in there if I was ever in the area. The chances of me being up in that area are pretty slim, but nevertheless, it's a really cute looking store. And it looks like they have things laid out a little better in the store than they do on the website. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Okay. And they have their store hours listed here. It said store expanding in February 2022. So I don't know if we're seeing pictures after it's been expanded or that hasn't happened yet. So anyways, that is the Quilting Barn. If you like to browse, as I said, check it out. They do have very good prices. Not so sure about this free shipping with the $20 shipping charge that they'll compensate you for with fabric. That throws me off. The website itself could use some tweaking to make it a little easier to navigate. But overall, if you're up in Northern Ontario, and it has to be for Canadians because they don't ship to the States, they say, then you might want to check out the Quilting Barn. So what's coming up this week? Well, I've already mentioned I have an interview with Stephanie's Stitches. And I might be going to a sew day. Walter's Sewing Group, the person who does the Zoom classes that he takes all the time, where he makes all of our great shirts and everything else that he makes, is having a in-person sew day. He's got a place for that basically doesn't cost anything to hold this event in it. And so it doesn't cost any of us anything. He's having it open to the people in his sewing class. But Walter said to me, there's only been about 3 people or so that say they're going. Now, his sewing class doesn't have a lot of people in it. It's just only about a half a dozen or something like that. So I said to him, well, can anybody come to this? I know he has somebody coming that is an outsider to the sewing group. And Walter said, well, he thought so. So he's writing off an email to the organizer to see if I can come. I think what they're going to do with the sew day is share their projects and, probably problems they're having or whatever. And the person who does this, his name's Brendan. I've actually interviewed Brendan before. He is the teacher, and I guess he can help them right there in live with it all. But I thought it might be nice to, take some of take one of my projects and work on it in that environment that day. So that's what I'm planning to do. Now, if I can't make that day or whatever, then I'm also thinking I could have a pop-up sew day as well, or instead of. I haven't had one in August yet, but this is early in August. But I don't think that's going to happen yet. Now, I may have a pop-up sew day closer to the end of the month. Maybe. You never know when I'm going to have a pop-up sew day, So, yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to doing this because it's getting out of the house, it's getting into an environment with actual people who sew as well. So we'll see what happens with all of that. Of course, that means that I need something to transport my sewing machine to this sew day. And yes, I do have a travel bag for my sewing machine, fairly expensive one that I bought some time ago, and it's broken. It's been slowly breaking down since I bought it, which is a little bit owes me because it was $400 for this bag. It's not cheap. It's a Tootie or Tudo or something like that they call them. They sell them at Ultimate Sewing, but you can see them online. They're really nice bags. But the problem is they collapse, like they fold up for storage and things like that. And the bars that come out from that don't hold anymore. That may have been more my fault than the bag's fault. At one point I was using it to transport when I had the 15,000, and that's a heavy machine, and I was lifting it up by those bars. It's one thing I've got against these bags, there isn't a really good place to grip them when you have to lift them up for anything, like you're lifting them up to put them in the back of your car or something like that. So those kind of, they didn't break per se, like snap off. They just don't catch anymore. They don't hold, and I don't know how to fix it. And then one of the wheels on it got broken. Kind of Walter did that, but that was an accident. Again, I probably had it overloaded, made it too heavy and all that kind of stuff. So really, it's not the fault of the bag, but I need one. And with a broken wheel on it, it doesn't really serve the purpose, right? Because you'd be sitting there dragging it up the street. So anyways, I think later today, I'm going over to Ultimate Sewing and I'm going to buy another bag. So there you are with it. Yeah. I don't think it's warranty. Well, the warranty, I bought it 2 years, 3 years, probably 3 years ago or more. So I'm sure the warranty ran out after 90 days on it and everything. And as I said, it's really not the bag's fault. It's me more than anything. Although I might pack it up into the car and sort of mention to Shirley, oh, yeah, I'm buying another one. And, well, did you buy one of these? Yeah, I'm buying another one. Mine is broken. Oh, it's broken? You know what I'm talking about. No, I'm not doing that kind of thing to Shirley. No. Shirley's good to me. I'm going to be good to Shirley too. But anyways, yeah. So I got to buy that. And as you already know, if you saw So Chatty in the past few days, that we are planning a fabric shopping trip to London, a little 2-night getaway to London, Ontario. I wish it was London, England, but it's not. It's London, Ontario, and there's lots of quilt shops in that area and things like that. And I'm going to drop a bundle. I am. Do I need to buy fabric? No, I don't. Do I want to buy fabric? Yes, I do. Why? Because it's pretty. That's all the justification that I need. But it'll be nice to get away, a little excursion. So that doesn't happen for a couple of weeks yet. So I'll be sure to show you what I pick up after that trip, after I come home from that trip. Okay, well, I think that's it for me today on this episode. A little shorter than some, I guess, but that's the week it's been. So, I hope you have a good week and get out there and create something that makes you happy. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.